play in blank verse by Bridget Judah Portman. Scene 1. A street in Larissa, ancient Thessaly, midday. A pillar or other structure stands in one corner of the stage. We hear the muted sounds of distant celebration. Enter Canis, a young woman dressed in the red gown of a Grecian bride. Her long hair has come free of its veil, and one of her sandals is missing. She hides behind the pillar as another young woman, Hippodamia, enters, also dressed in fine robes. She carries Canis' sandal.
Canis! Oh, Lady Hera, help me find her!
Canis attempts to creep away, but Hippodamia spots her. She rushes to Canis and embraces her.
Are you all right?
I'm sorry, Damia.
What happened, Canis? Why did you run off as though you'd seen a ghost?
I did see one. She had a pale face, dark eyes, mouth as red as blood. She wore a shroud and smelled just like the sickly sweet perfume that people rub on corpses.
Where was she?
In the looking glass.
Oh, Canis. Every bride has doubts. Before Lady Hera wed Lord Zeus, she must herself have gone to battle with her nerves, and she's the very patroness of marriage.
How happy hers turned out to be.
Oh, hush. Of all the days to snub the gods. Look at yourself. Your hair's undone, your powder's smeared.
Handing her the sandal.
Put this back on and wash that dusty foot. Imagine if he saw you.
Canis does not move.
Hurry, Canis. The feast is underway. He's almost here.
Go back and say you lost me, Damia.
Since when has anything made you afraid?
I'm not afraid, but I don't want to marry.
Don't be absurd. You can't forever stay the boyish little girl who cut her hair behind her mother's back and threw her dolls into the sea. Canis, we're women now.
Stroking her hair.
You're beautiful. Pirithous is lucky, and so are you. Most women marry men whose names they've scarcely heard. He was your friend. We three would play together on the beach. I always knew you held a torch for him. He dared you once to kiss his lips, remember? You were so shy you blushed as red as poppies and turned to give the kiss to me instead.
That was but fondness, like a brother feels. It's wrong to run away. I know it does injustice to Pirithous. I should have stood my ground the day we were betrothed, but all my life I pushed it from my mind. I watched my body change and soften, and hoped my heart would soften too, swelling with tenderness, docility, and the sweet, gentle things that women's hearts should hold. But all it's done is beat more like a wild beast imprisoned in a pretty cage. And like that beast, it's grown to hate the ribs that hold it in. Don't call me beautiful. I never wanted to be beautiful. Each stroke of this foul paint felt like a tongue of something hideous. I can't go back. I can't. Oh, Damia.
She falls into Hippodamia's arms.
There now, calm down. I promise everything will be all right.
But Damia, I'm not a woman.
Oh? Since when? Today I saw you in your bath.
I mean, I'm not a woman in my heart, my mind, my soul, self, whatever's at our core.
Our hearts can trick us, but our bodies can't. The fates decided you should be a woman.
What do the fates decide? They're old and blind.
Then think about his needs. Pirithous is king. He needs a wife to soothe his stress, to keep his hearth warm in the daytime and his body warm at night, to give him trust, forgiveness, loyalty, the confidence that from her love and his caress an heir will be produced, to be mother that he lost in growing up, the bosom friend his sister used to be, the darling that he'll someday cradle in a baby girl. My mother always said a wife should be all three in one, and more. You disagree?
I never held a torch for him. You did.
What? Canis.
How long? Since we were girls?
What does it matter how I feel for him? I am standing with you on your wedding day. I helped you bathe and dress and fix your hair. I've done what's best for you and for our tribe. But you can only worry for yourself. You would leave and break his heart. You'd shame him and your father and your mother and everyone who's waiting at the feast. They came for you with gifts and prayers and sacrifices for betrayal. Don't you want to be my sister? Don't you love me anymore? Answer me, don't you want to be my sister?
No.
Hippodamia throws the sandal at her.
Damia!
Don't call me that. That name is for my family and friends. And now you're neither one.
I love you, Damia.
But not as much as you love a sister.
Canis cannot reply. Hippodamia pushes her aside.
God's willing I'll never see your face again.
Exit Hippodamia. Canis, nearly in tears, exits opposite. Scene 2. Seashore near Larissa the same day. Enter Canis, still dressed in her bridal garb. She paces aimlessly, then sinks to the sand. Enter chorus of Nereids, 2 young women with long kelp-like hair or gowns. They tease and goad Canis, pulling at her hair and dress.
What is this?
Who is she?
It's a runaway bride.
Though she looks more like something spit up by the tide.
Stop touching me! Who are you?
We're the maidens of the ocean, the nymphs of the sea, the ladies in waiting and handmaids of He who commands all the waters, both frothy and blue. We're his heralds and courtesans. Who, though, are you?
I'm no one. Leave me be.
So you fled from your wedding?
No love for the groom? Or perhaps someone's already
Ceded your wound?
Leave me alone, I said! I never wanted to be a bride, a mother, or a woman.
It's your feminine body you hate? What a pity.
We were willing to grant
You were modestly pretty.
You can't be 2 sexes at once, though, unless you hide something unusual under your dress.
Aren't you yourselves 2 things? Both girls and fish?
Every nymph has the power to alter her form, but you mortals are stuck in the shape you were born.
That isn't fair.
How unjust is the world. And you're doubly betrayed, for a mix-up like you never should have been made.
You're the fates cast off clippings, your nature's mistake.
And you only have one path remaining to take.
The Nereids seize Canis and begin to drag her towards the water. She struggles at first, but soon is overpowered and entranced by their song.
Come with us, little maid, for the ocean is deep. To drown is as easy as falling asleep. With a sailor or widow or a child on the shore, just a moment of struggle and peace evermore. Come with us, little maid, for the ocean is deep. To drown is as easy as falling asleep, as falling asleep, as falling asleep.
Enter Poseidon, powerfully built man.
Release her. Slither off, you little eels, before I spear you for the fisher's market.
The Nereids disperse and exit, pouting.
Forgive my handmaids. They but envy you.
Handmaids? Then you.
Men call me ruler of the sea, the lord of horses, earth's shaker. But from your lips, sweet kings, let me hear the name my queenly mother granted me.
Poseidon. How do you know mine?
Dear girl, I am the ocean. Every drop of rain that ever touched your lovely flesh sank down into the earth and found its way to me. They told me of a 11th virgin of exquisite beauty who refused to wed. And now you've left your marriage feast. You must have thought the groom unworthy.
No.
Then why would such a lovely maiden flee the day that should have been her happiest? Unless I'm wrong to label her a maiden.
I never even touched a man, except in childhood when I used to wrestle boys.
I'm only teasing you, my sweet. I know you're pure and uncorrupted as the sand that settles on the deep sea floor. But you have no desire to share your bed with men. No need for shame. I know whose bed you seek.
She looks at him, a glimmer of a smile.
A god's.
She backs away. She backs away, he advances on her.
I have seldom seen so beautiful a mortal girl. Your long-lashed eyes are dark anemones. Your skin is white and smooth as salt-fine sand. Beneath that veil, you're like a timid fish who hides herself in coral. You were not born to please a mortal man.
I want no man, not God nor mortal.
He grasps at her chest. She pushes him away.
Nor dog.
He slaps her.
Do not forget to whom you speak. Though in my mildest moods I craft the gentle pools where children dip their feet, I also make the waves that swallow sailors, and the tides that carry wading women to the deep.
Grasping her by the arm,
The sea takes anything it wants.
Please let me go.
he forces her to the sand, easily overpowering her.
Dear child, why fight the tide? To drown yourself in me can either be an agony or a delight. Give in, and I shall grant you anything you wish.
You'd grant a wish?
I, maiden, anything within my power. Ask me for aught you've ever dreamed to have. Perhaps a strand of rainbow-colored pearls that grow like grapes in deep-sea gardens, so pure they'll never see the light of day until they're placed upon your tender throat.
What else?
A palace on the seabed made of shells, or if you do not wish to wet your feet, upon an island made of grains of gold.
Suppose I choose the palace underwater. Then I would need a fish's tail and gills. Is that within your power? Transformation?
If you so wished, I'd change you wholly to a fish.